Owners, in turn, are looking at it like this. They're going to have to kind of recalibrate how they think about things. Because as you talked about institutional control, the salary cap is something that people will hide behind. Hey, I can't pay you. I can't do, we have a salary cap here. There's a much different thing between a salary cap budget and a cash budget. The cash is there. Some teams have more of it than others.
The Oakland Raiders are saying the cash isn't there with Khalil Mack.
And you know what? Let me back up. Not everybody has the same cash flow.
Okay.
Stab Kroenke has a much more fluid, liquid cash flow than what Mark Davis has. I mean, I think we all know that.
Right.
So, but the players are saying, look, give us what is ours. Give us what we deserve relative to what you're making because this money keeps getting bigger for you. There's a reason why everybody wants to get into the league and own an NFL team. You can't go wrong. You're going to get rich if you stink. If your organization just flat out sucks, you're going to get rich.
Was that proven this past season with all the protests that went on with Colin Kaepernick and everything else, and the league still gained in revenue about 4.9%. Each owner pocketed about $255 million. Does that totally debunk the theory that we're struggling? We've got something to be worried about financially?
Sure. You know what? In the short term, yeah, it does. Long term, I don't think you can't get lazy. You can't think that it is too big to fail. You know that is a faulty way of thinking about things when you're talking about big business. Just when you think you can't fail is when it underneath is going to start deteriorating. So they have to be aware of some of the things that could possibly derail this freight train that they got going on. But that being said, I think in general, Stephen A., this is part of evolving. This is part of growing. And owners are having to recalibrate salary cap negotiators and having to recalibrate how they look at positions outside of quarterback. And teams and players are saying, look, man, we will sit out and withhold our services because of the money that we're making already now. A lot of guys that are at the top of the market have the wherewithal to go ahead and say, I'm not coming in. I have some money. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see. Look, I'm getting mine. If Kirk Cousins can get $84 million guaranteed, Aaron Rodgers, I know how you feel about him. What do you think he deserves relative to the growth in the salary cap market? I mean, in terms of the salary cap. Aaron Donald, I just saw the man on Friday. I was in Pittsburgh for the kickoff luncheon for the university. He knows what's coming down the pike for him is something that it's different, and he is willing to sit there until they give it to him. Khalil Mack, same way, and they should. And owners have to know that this is the mentality of the players now. They're not going to sit back and just hear those regular excuses about, we can't afford it. We have to build a team. Only one team really gets away with that. Only New England does that. And because Bill's cachet is just so much different. It's like you'll give up some cash in your pocket because you're thinking, I'm getting taught by the Grand Master, so it's worth it to me. Everywhere else, I don't know if any other team could do that. I don't know if any other team could have a quarterback like Tom Brady on their roster, Stephen A., and have him be like the 15th highest paid quarterback. I mean, come on now. You can't do that.
Wow.
And you know what? And I'll just say this too. As much as many times I push back against it, players, kids, youth are different, man. They face different challenges. They look at things differently. They maybe don't like being pushed the same way and prodded the same way you took. I talked to Nick Saban about this when he was here. People want to know, players now, athletes want to know, why are you asking me to do this? Don't tell me it's
they want more information.
Yeah, don't tell me it's just for the team.
This is not the military.
That's right.
This is not the military.
Tell me
I'm not
why.
just going to follow instructions.
That's right.
And guess what? This is not a dictatorship.
That's right.
You need me just like I need you. If we're going to be in this together, make sure I get mine.
And you have to be willing to accept the individuality that is coming along with it.
Louis Riddick right here with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio and simulcast on ESPN News. So with that being said, Le'Veon Bell, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack. Who's next in line? Who needs to be next in line? Who needs to be the next priority in terms of on the list of getting paid like Odell Beckham Jr. just got paid?
I think all things considered, meaning what is the risk to the club as far as them not getting their return on investment? Who is at the absolute peak of their game? Who has the potential to down the road continue to wreak havoc and make waves in this league that we've never seen? And which team has the cash to do it? There's no question it's Aaron Donald. He checks every single one of those boxes. Young, no problems off the field, never been hurt, all pro, just wreck and shop year after year after year.
You bring that up. You know what I bring up?
You
bring that up. You know what I bring up? Todd Gurley's got 2 years left on his deal. You took care of him. And
right.
Ndamukong Suh, you bring him over on a 1-year deal. Marcus Peters has some issues in Kansas City. You bring him over. Aqib Talib, a bit eccentric. I love him. You love him. But at the same time, a bit eccentric. You brought him over. So you took care of people around this man, but a man who, by the way, had the same issue with you last year, but still came into camp. And what does he do? Just becomes Defensive Player of the Year. After all of that, you do this to him again. Yeah. That's my argument on behalf of Aaron
And you know
Donald.
what? I think that goes back to one of the points you made earlier. A lot of times teams don't want to do stuff until they have to because they say this. And you'll hear teams actually use this vernacular. We control the player. We control your contract. We control. You hear people talk about it. You hear people talk about it on these airwaves.
Former owner with the Philadelphia Eagles once said that to Reggie White, which is why Reggie White departed.
Absolutely. So that's why a lot of times until they feel as though they can't really control the situation, they won't move. In a situation like Aaron, look, there's a business thing that you can do, and then there's the right thing you can do. And the right thing is to take care of this kid. Now, in their defense, I'll say this, and I've talked to some of my boys in the league who are actually contract negotiators. They'll say this, and they've said this, quote, Louis, you think they don't know, we don't know how much Aaron really wants? You think we don't know that he's good? But what is happening is these guys are having to get out of that old way of thinking and having to look at things from a totally new perspective. Aaron's contract is going to be the richest non-quarterback contract ever. That's big. That takes some ownership and some people who are doing these contracts getting used to going, whew. But you know what? What should make you sleep at night? If you know anything about that kid, it ain't going to change him, Stephen A. At all. I saw how he's working out there in Pittsburgh. I ain't never seen a guy who's 285, 290 pounds look like he's 225, 230. Ripped and working hard.